If you're a man over 60 and your erections aren't as strong as they used to be, your sleep is restless, and your energy has taken a hit, this might surprise you. It's not just stress. Often, it's because you're missing a key vitamin. Every night, one that supports your blood, your nerves, your testosterone, and yes, your virility. I'm Dr. Laura. For over 30 years, I've helped men regain their strength, confidence, and performance when they thought it was gone for good. And here's what I've learned. Most men aren't broken. They're just missing the nighttime, nutrients their body needs to recover and perform. While you sleep, your body isn't just resting, it's repairing. It's fixing blood vessels, balancing hormones, and preparing you for the next day, but only if it has the right fuel. Most men aren't getting enough, and that's why so many wake up exhausted, sluggish, or weak, where it matters most. To us, this video, I'll share 7 essential vitamins, plus 2 eye-opening truths most men never hear because so many struggle. I'll also explain the changes you'll notice after 7, 14, and 30 nights. Stick with me, and I'll show you how a simple bedtime adjustment could improve blood flow, restore strength, and bring back the restful sleep and firm erections you deserve. Before we start, if you haven't already, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss science-backed tips to naturally revitalize your energy, erections, and sleep. If this video resonates with you, write a 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, write a 0, and let me know how I can better help you stay healthy after 60. Now, let's dive into the first and most overlooked key to restoring nighttime strength: vitamin D3. Not in the morning, but right before bed. This simple shift can help reignite testosterone, improve blood flow, and set the stage for the deep, healing sleep your body desperately needs. Vitamin D3, the hormone and sleep trigger. I remember a patient, Robert, 68 years old, who came to me after nearly giving up. He was healthy by most standards. No heart disease, no diabetes, but he felt drained. His sleep was shallow, his mornings were dull, and intimacy had become a distant memory. He looked me in the eye and said, "Dr. Laura, I don't feel like a man anymore." After some simple tests, it was clear what was missing. He had a chronic vitamin D3 deficiency. Now, most people think of vitamin D3 as something you get from sunlight or take with your morning coffee. But here's a truth I've learned over 3 decades of helping men. When you take vitamin D3 matters almost as much as how much you take. When you take it before bed, something powerful happens. Vitamin D3 works directly with your body's natural repair cycle. It helps regulate melatonin, the hormone that guides you into deep restorative sleep, while also boosting your body's testosterone production during that sleep. You see, your body is designed to rebuild at night, repairing damaged tissues, restoring circulation, and reactivating hormonal function. But without enough D3, those systems stall. It's not just about hormones either. It's about blood flow. Vitamin D3 supports the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, the same tissue responsible for releasing nitric oxide, the molecule your body needs to trigger and sustain an erection. Without enough D3, your arteries stiffen, your circulation slows, and your erections weaken. What made Robert's story remarkable wasn't just how quickly things changed, but how simple the change was. He started taking just 1 dose of vitamin D3 before bed. Nothing fancy, just the right form at the right time. Within a week, his sleep improved. By 2 weeks, his energy was back. And by the 3rd week, he came back to my office grinning like he was hiding a secret. He told me, "Dr. Laura, I woke up hard as a rock. For the first time in over a year, I thought that part of me was gone." That's the power of a well-timed vitamin. Not 10 pills, not a drawer full of supplements, just one essential nutrient given to the body when it knows how to use it best. It's not a miracle pill. It's a biological moment. It's working with your body, not against it. So, if you're over 60 and tired of waking up feeling weak, foggy, or off, don't overlook this. Vitamin D3 before bed could be the missing piece, a small step that could lead to bigger mornings, deeper rest, and a steady boost in your natural energy. But here's where it gets even more interesting. While vitamin D3 sets the stage, the next vitamin I'll share plays a very different role. It calms your nervous system, sharpens your mental focus, and quietly fuels the hormones that make you feel like you. Most men overlook it entirely. Let's take a closer look. 2. Vitamin B6, the energy and calm balancer. When I think of the quiet power of vitamin B6, I think of Harold. He was 71, a retired Navy man, still sharp, still strong, but something inside him had dimmed. "I'm not depressed," he said, "but I feel flat, like there's no fire inside me." I asked about his sleep. He said it was patchy, a few hours here, then waking up. His energy would crash by noon. Then I asked about his libido. He looked away and said, "That part of me has been fading for years." I understood. I've heard it thousands of times. The truth is, when most men hit their 60s, Their brain and body start to fall out of sync. You're tired, but your mind won't shut off. You want intimacy, but the signal just doesn't travel like it used to. That's where vitamin B6 makes all the difference, especially when taken before bed. B6 plays a key role in producing dopamine, the brain chemical that gives you motivation, desire, and drive. But it also helps produce GABA, the calming neurotransmitter that quiets your mind and lets you slip into deep, uninterrupted sleep. It's this rare balance of energy and calm that makes B6 so powerful. When you take it at night, it signals your body to shift gears, to stop racing and start rebuilding. And in the depth of that sleep cycle, B6 helps trigger a cascade of hormones that affect everything from your mood to your blood flow to your testosterone. Harold started taking just a simple dose of vitamin B6 about 30 minutes before bed. Not a megadose, not a cocktail of supplements, just that one. By the end of the first week, he wasn't waking up as much. By the second week, his mood lifted. He described it as feeling lighter inside. But the real moment came in the third week. He looked at me, almost shocked, and said, "I actually wanted to be with my wife again. And more than that, I could." That's the magic of giving your body what it needs when it needs it. You don't have to force it. You just have to support the natural rhythm that's already there. And when that rhythm returns, when your brain, blood, and hormones start speaking the same language again, your erections improve, your sleep deepens, and your vitality wakes up. All from one vitamin, taken at the right time. But there's more to the story. Because even if B6 unlocks the drive, what if your blood vessels are too tense to respond? What if the flow itself is blocked? That's where the next nutrient comes in. It's not a vitamin. It's a powerful mineral that helps open the channels, relax the arteries, and flood the body with the circulation it's been missing. For many men, it's the one missing link between desire and performance. Let's talk about it. Tet. Magnesium glycinate, the erection relaxer. Some men think erections are just about desire. Others think it's all about testosterone. But there's something they almost always forget: relaxation. Not mental relaxation, though that matters too. I'm talking about the relaxation of your arteries, the smooth muscles, the vascular pathways that let blood flow to the penis in the first place. I remember Ken, 66 years old, a firefighter, still active, still tough, but secretly struggling. "Dr. Laura," he said, "I still want to be with my wife, but when the moment comes, I just can't keep it up. I feel frustrated, embarrassed, and honestly, I'm scared she'll stop wanting me too." We ran his tests. His testosterone was decent. His blood sugar wasn't the issue. But one thing stood out: he was severely deficient in magnesium. What most men don't know is that magnesium plays a vital role in your body's ability to relax blood vessels, regulate blood pressure, and keep nerves functioning properly. When levels are low, especially after 60, everything tightens up. Blood flow slows, erections weaken, sleep becomes shallow, and your body just can't let go. That's where magnesium glycinate comes in. Of all the forms of magnesium, glycinate is my choice for older men because it crosses the blood-brain barrier, calms the central nervous system, quiets racing thoughts, and gently lowers nighttime blood pressure. But more importantly, it promotes the release of nitric oxide, the very compound responsible for triggering strong, full erections. Ken started taking just a small dose of magnesium glycinate before bed. That was it. Within days, his sleep improved. He told me it was the first time in years he slept 6 hours straight without waking up. By the second week, he felt more energized. In the morning, less groggy, more clear-headed. But what moved him most was something unexpected. He said, "I woke up with a real erection, not just a stir, something solid. I felt like I got my body back." There was relief in his voice, gratitude too, but above all, there was confidence. That's what happens when you give your body what it needs to restore balance and flow. You don't need stimulants or harsh medications. Sometimes all it takes is one mineral, taken at the right time, to release the tension quietly holding your body back. But here's the thing: even if the blood can flow now, you still need to protect the tiny arteries carrying it. As men age, those vessels become vulnerable, damaged by time, toxins, and inflammation. That's where the next vitamin becomes essential. It's the one that armors your circulation and gives your erections the strength they deserve. Let's take a closer look. Talk. Vitamin E, the artery protector. Carl was 72, a retired school principal, always impeccably dressed. Crisp shirts, polished shoes, sharp mind. But beneath that polished exterior, he was quietly struggling with something most men don't talk about. He sat in my office, cleared his throat, and said, "Dr. Laura, I feel like my body isn't listening to me anymore. I want to perform, but nothing responds like it used to." His blood pressure was high. His cholesterol wasn't terrible, but it wasn't ideal either. More importantly, his circulation was slowing, especially where it mattered most. I explained, something I tell many of my patients. Erections aren't just about hormones or desire. They're vascular events, entirely dependent on the health and flexibility of your body's smallest blood vessels. And those tiny vessels, especially in the penis, are the first to suffer from aging and inflammation. That's where vitamin E becomes a powerful ally, especially when taken before bed. Vitamin E is known as a fat-soluble antioxidant, but to me, it's more than that. It's circulatory protection in a capsule. It shields the delicate endothelial lining of your arteries, the very layer responsible for releasing nitric oxide, the chemical that expands blood vessels and fills the penis with blood. At night, when your body enters repair mode, vitamin E helps clear oxidative stress, reduces arterial inflammation, and prevents cholesterol from hardening those vessels. It literally helps your body reopen pathways to stronger, fuller erections. While you sleep. Carl started taking just a small dose of natural vitamin E before bed. Within a few weeks, he was sleeping more deeply and waking up feeling rested, not just physically, but emotionally. Then came the morning he called my office, almost whispering over the phone, "Tell the doctor it worked." When he came in for a follow-up, his blood pressure was down, his confidence was up, and something else was back, his sense of being a man. That's the beauty of vitamin E. It doesn't hit you like caffeine or force anything. It slowly, quietly, restores blood flow from the inside out. Just one small act before bed, and you give your body the armor it needs to fight time. But once that protection is in place, once blood can flow freely, you need to ensure your body knows what to do with it. That brings us to a trace mineral most men never think about, but one your testosterone and prostate are screaming for. It might just be the most masculine mineral on the planet, and without it, no amount of blood flow will bring back your performance. Let's talk about it. Zinc, the testosterone guardian. I recently saw a man named Leonard, 69 years old. He still worked part-time at a local hardware store, with the warm, easy confidence of a man who was once the strongest guy in the room. But during our visit, that confidence gave way to something more vulnerable. He leaned forward and said, "Dr. Laura, I still love my wife. I still want her, but things don't work like they used to, and I don't want to just accept it." We reviewed his labs. His testosterone was low, not dangerously so, but not optimal. His prostate was showing signs of aging, and his energy crashed hard by early afternoon. But one thing stood out. Leonard was deficient in zinc. In men over age 60. That's not just a detail. It's a red flag. Zinc is the mineral every man needs if he wants to preserve sexual function, hormonal strength, and prostate health. But timing matters. When you take zinc at night before bed, you align it with your body's natural hormone production cycle. That's when it does its best work. Zinc boosts the release of luteinizing hormone, the chemical messenger that tells your testes to produce testosterone. When testosterone is low, your desire fades, your erections weaken, and your energy collapses. Zinc also supports sperm production, improves prostate tissue health, and blocks the buildup of estrogen, which becomes more common as we age. Leonard started taking just a 15 milligram dose of zinc before bed, not a multivitamin blend, not a stack of supplements, just that specific dose. Within 10 days, he felt clearer. By the third week, he said his motivation was back. But what mattered most to him was what happened between him and his wife. "We embraced again," he said, "not just physically, but as husband and wife. I felt like me again." And I see this over and over because when you nourish your body at the right time, the results don't just show up in your blood, they show up in your life. Restored energy, stronger erections, a sense of masculine identity that's deeper than muscle. It's the quiet knowledge that your body still works, that it's still alive. But here's the thing most men don't realize. It's not just one nutrient doing all the work. Sometimes it's about synergy, two key forces working together, like old teammates. One calms your system, the other fuels it so your body doesn't just survive the night, it rebuilds during it. That's where we're headed next. Because the next strategy I'll show you combines two powerful ingredients in a nighttime ritual that repairs your nerves, restores your circulation, and rekindles the very spark that made you feel alive in the first place. Let's dive in. 6. B complex. The energy and blood supporter. I once treated a man named Daniel, 70 years old, a retired mail carrier. He was the kind of guy who always put others first, raised a family, worked hard his whole life, rarely complained. But the day he walked into my office, there was something heavy behind his eyes. He sat down and said, "Dr. Laura, I feel like my body's fading. I'm tired all the time. My sleep's a mess, and I haven't felt strong in months. Not as a man, not as a partner." He wasn't depressed, he wasn't sick, But his labs told a story, a silent deficiency in B vitamins, the kind that slowly wears down your foundation. What most men don't realize is that B vitamins aren't just for energy, they're vital for erections, blood flow, and restorative sleep. Each B vitamin plays a unique role. B1 and B2 help power your heart and nervous system. B3 supports blood vessel dilation, boosting blood flow throughout your body, including to the penis. B5 and B6 help regulate stress hormones like cortisol, which can sabotage testosterone when elevated at night. B9 and B12 are essential for producing healthy red blood cells and nitric oxide, the very chemical your body needs to generate strong erections. Here's where timing matters. When Daniel started taking a high-quality B complex before bed, everything changed. Not overnight, but gradually, night after night, his body started working with itself instead of against it. He told me his mind felt clearer in the mornings. His energy stopped crashing after lunch, and by the third week, something else came back. Morning erections stronger than he'd had in years. I didn't think that was possible anymore, he said, his voice breaking a little. It made me feel whole again. What I've seen time and again in my practice is that when older men nourish their nervous system, their vascular system follows. Your heart pumps stronger, your brain feels sharper, and yes, your erections respond with strength, confidence, and stamina. You don't need a dozen pills. Sometimes it's just a B complex, taken with purpose at the right time, before bed, when your body's ready to recover. But as powerful as a B complex is on its own, something even more remarkable happens when it's paired with the right partner, a mineral that calms your nervous system, boosts absorption, and creates the perfect internal environment for nighttime repair. When these two combine, you get a recovery rhythm so powerful that many men report feeling younger, stronger, and more centered than they have in decades. Let's explore that nighttime synergy next. B complex plus magnesium, the nighttime power. Combo, there's something special about two ingredients working together, supporting each other, amplifying each other, and allowing your body to heal in a way that feels almost effortless. I've seen it countless times in my practice, but one story sticks with me. His name was Frank, 74 years old, a widower living alone in a quiet suburb, a gentle, proud, quiet man. When he first came to see me, he didn't talk about sex or intimacy. He just said, "I'm tired, Dr. Laura. I don't sleep. I don't feel right. My body feels like it's slowly shutting down." We ran a full panel, and while nothing major stood out, one thing was clear. His nervous system was on edge, his circulation was lagging, and he was deficient in both B vitamins and magnesium. The truth is, that's incredibly common in men his age. Your body doesn't absorb nutrients like it used to. Stress depletes the few reserves you have left, and without support, the systems that give you vitality, circulation, testosterone, sleep, start to crumble. So I gave Frank a simple instruction. Take a high-quality B complex along with magnesium glycinate about an hour before bed. No prescriptions, no hormones, just these two nutrients working together. What happened over the next few weeks was nothing short of remarkable. He started sleeping more deeply, no longer waking up 3 or 4 times a night. His energy began lasting into the afternoon. But the real change came when he walked into my office one morning, looked me in the eye, and said, "Something's different. I feel like a man again." He said he was waking up with stronger erections. His mind felt sharper, his body lighter. He smiled and said, "I didn't realize how far I'd slipped until I started coming back." That's the power of synergy. The B complex nourishes your blood, your nerves, your hormonal pathways. Magnesium calms the system, enhances absorption, and opens the vessels your blood needs to reach. Together, they reset the rhythm that's been lost. For men over 60, that rhythm is everything. It's not about being perfect. It's about feeling like you again. Rested, ready, steady. One simple combination, one quiet act of self-respect before bed, and the results speak for themselves. More energy, deeper sleep, and erections that remind you your body still works. But here's the catch. Most men don't stick with it. They give up too soon, expect overnight miracles, or take things at the wrong time of day. And that's exactly why they fail. So before we go further, let me show you the most common mistakes older men make and how you can avoid them to finally get the results you've been waiting for. Why most men fail. The common mistake. This next part is tough to say, but it's something I have to tell every man who walks into my office because I've seen too many give up when they were just steps away from real change. The truth is, most men fail not because their body can't heal, but because they expect it to heal on their schedule, not the body's. I had a patient, Ron, 65 years old, a strong, proud guy used to fixing things himself. When I recommended a simple supplement, just 1 dose of magnesium glycinate before bed, he took it for 3 nights, saw no difference, and quit. He came back frustrated. It didn't work, Dr. Laura. I'm still tired. Still no morning erections. So, I asked him, Ron, how long did it take for your health to decline? He paused. Years, he said. Decades, maybe. I looked him in the eye and said gently, then why would you expect to fix it in 72 hours? Here's what I've learned after 30 years in men's health. Healing isn't loud. It's subtle. It's a slow rebuild, happening night after night, layer by layer, when you nourish your body at the right time. The men who succeed are the ones who stay consistent, who don't skip nights, who understand that the body speaks in signals, not shouts. Another common mistake is taking vitamins and minerals in the morning when your body's in stress mode. Most men pop a capsule with their coffee and expect it to give them energy, but in reality, your body does most of its repair while you sleep. That's when testosterone is produced, blood vessels are restored, and neurotransmitters are reset. When you take the right nutrient, just one, before bed, you give your body the raw material to do its job naturally. Not forcing it, not stimulating it, just supporting the system that already knows how to heal. Finally, many men simply take the wrong form, cheap synthetic vitamins with low absorption rates or megadoses that overwhelm the liver. That's not the way. It never was. What your body wants is something gentle, bioavailable, and well-timed. So if you've tried before and nothing worked, maybe it wasn't your fault. Maybe you just missed the timing, the patience, or the right form. But once you fix those three things, the change can feel almost effortless. Now you might be wondering, if I stick with it, how long until I actually feel something different? When will my energy come back? When will I wake up hard again? That's exactly what we're going to talk about next, because when you nourish your body with the right support at night, a very real transformation begins. I'll walk you through exactly what to expect, day by day, week by week. Let's break it down. What to expect in 7, 14, and 30 nights. The road to recovery 1. Of the most common questions I hear, whether from men in their 60s or 80s, is this. Dr. Laura, how long until I start feeling something again? I get it. When your body's felt numb, tired, or disconnected for years, the idea of change can seem far off. But when you start taking even just one proper vitamin or mineral before bed consistently, something begins to shift. Slowly, yes, but profoundly. Let me tell you about Richard, 73 years old. He was skeptical. He'd tried everything. Powders, pills, prescriptions. He agreed to try just one thing, magnesium glycinate before bed every night, no exceptions. I told him, don't look for fireworks. Look for flickers, small signs. Your body's coming back online. By the 7th night, he noticed something small but significant. He was sleeping through the night, not tossing or waking up 3 times to use the bathroom. He felt less anxious, like his body had finally exhaled. By day 14, he told me something had shifted in the mornings. Dr. Laura, he said, I'm not just waking up more rested, I'm waking up with a response down there. It's not where I want it to be yet, but it's something, and that something gives me hope. That's exactly what the body does. When it's nourished and supported, it starts showing you quiet signs of repair, better circulation, clearer thoughts, calmer nights. By the 30th night, Richard stood taller. His skin looked better. His handshake was firmer. He said, I feel like I'm driving my own body again, not just riding in it. And when he told me he and his partner had reconnected, physically and emotionally, his voice broke. I didn't think this part of life was possible anymore. It is, for him, for you, for any man willing to give his body one simple act of care before bed. Let's be clear, not every man follows this exact timeline. Some feel results sooner, others take longer, but the pattern is consistent. Deeper, sleep, better energy, stronger erections. It starts from the inside out, and it starts with consistency, not intensity. You don't need to overhaul your life or take 10 supplements a day. Just one right nutrient at the right time can open the door to everything your body's been asking for. So what's next? Now that you know what your body's capable of, how do you build on it? How do you stay consistent, stay strong, and make this your new normal? In the final section, I'll show you exactly how to lock in these gains, avoid common pitfalls, and create a nighttime ritual that supports your virility for years to come. Let's finish strong. 10. The final word, one small step, a life restored if. There's one thing I want you to take away from everything we've talked about, it's this. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's waiting for you to show up for it. Night after night, your body keeps trying to repair, keeps trying to restore the very systems that give you strength, energy, and intimacy. I've guided countless men through this journey, men who felt lost, discouraged, wondering if they'd ever feel that spark again. And time and again, I've witnessed something incredible when they made one simple change, giving their body just the right vitamin or mineral before bed. Not randomly, but with focus, consistency, and belief. It might be vitamin D3 to boost testosterone, magnesium to melt stress, vitamin E to protect your heart, zinc to fuel your vitality, or a B complex to recharge your energy. Each one matters. But when taken at night in that quiet moment, they don't just work, they restore. I've seen relationships rekindled, mornings brightened, and confidence return, not from some miracle pill, but because a man chose to care for himself again. So tonight, start your comeback. Choose your nutrient, take it with purpose. Close your eyes not just to sleep, but to rebuild the strength you've missed. It's still there, and you're far from done.